Kingdom Global Innovators. This is Dr. Linda and Lara, and I will be your host today for Kingdom Global Innovators Show. And I just really want to talk to you today about the empowerment of words, how powerful your words are. Your words will either make you, break you, or take you out of the game. Okay? We're going to talk about powerful words. I have a great guest with me today who knows the value and knows the power of the spoken word, whether it be the word of God, whether it be words that are spoken over her or words that she herself has spoken. Because you will begin to understand that what you say is who you are. If you believe that you're never going to amount to nothing, that you're no good, that you have no purpose, if you don't know why you're here, and all these things that we say, that's the kind of life you're going to live. But if you begin to speak the truth of who God says you are, that's the life you're going to live. Because there's power in the tongue. Okay? That little thing that wiggles around, that little thing will make you or break you. It will rise you up or tear you down. So let me introduce my guest to you. Angel Garza, how are you?
Doing great. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. We're so happy to have her because she is a product of words. She is the product of how she would believe the lie and she was being torn down by other people. And then she said, wait a minute. You know what? Those words don't apply to me. Can you kind of tell us a little bit about yourself, Angel?
Yes, so Angel Garza, thank you for having me, Dr. Linda. I'm really excited to be here today.
So glad to have you.
And just like you said, our words, they're very powerful and effective, both negatively and positively.
Yes.
I'll never forget at the age of 16, I was, depressed. And it was weird because it even got to the point where I was suicidal. And the crazy part about that is, having an amazing family and a great upbringing, it didn't make sense why these words would affect me. But, you hear the words, oh, you mean nothing, oh, you're stupid, oh, you're dumb, oh, you're this, oh, you're that, oh, your parents are this, but you're doing that. And it's so easy to believe the lie of the enemy. It just one seed at a time. And every F on a test, or every bad grade, or every situation where I felt like I should have succeeded and I didn't, I never heard the voice of saying, just keep going, keep trying. I heard the voice of, well, you are done.
Well, you said something very important. The seeds of those words. If you put a seed in the ground today, you're not going to see the fruit of that. Some seeds grow in season. So if it's not cherry season, because I know cherry season's coming up in May, I love cherries, you might have planted that in, let's say, August.
Right.
So August you don't see nothing.
Nothing.
December you don't see nothing. February you don't see nothing.
Yeah.
Right? March you don't see nothing. But then here comes May.
Full blown.
Full blown. Full blown. It was a seed in the ground.
Yep.
But it began to grow.
Right. And so, like you said, at the age of 16, it was full bloom. Self-identity crisis. Who am I? Where am I going? What am I doing? I was in a new town for about 2 years. And by that time, I'm like, okay, make it or break it. What are you doing here? And I was, sad. I had a boyfriend I had to have.
Oh, don't we all have one of those?
Right. You have to have them.
Oh, my goodness.
And it was always, oh, you're out there, you're cheating, you're lying, you're doing all these other things. And, it began to weigh on me. My cousin passed away when I was 16, which had a major impact on my life. And I just began to believe all the lies.
Yeah.
Honestly, they were outweighed the good at that point in my life. And, being in high school and self-image issues and all these things. And I got to the place where I was going to give up.
Yeah.
I was ready, like, you know what, this life, obviously I'm not doing a good job. Right? I mean nothing. I have awesome siblings. Let them live this life, go hard, and let my family be proud of them because I'm not contributing.
Wow. Listen to that. Did you hear? Words were telling her that she wasn't contributing, that everybody else was being successful, everybody else had it together, but words were telling her that she had nothing to live for. She said she was suicidal at 16. What really? Come come on, were you paying your own rent? Were you paying electricity? What were you doing? What could you possibly be worried about? You know, leave the suicidal to your parents. You have to pay all this stuff.
Right.
You know, really, what is your responsibility at 16 years old that you want to die over?
Trying to live up to the expectations.
Wow. Trying to live up.
And that pressure, you know, at that age, it seemed so real. But I was blessed. I was fortunate to have other people in my corner saying, you know what, those are lies.
Yeah.
You are great.
Yes.
You are awesome. Like, your life isn't perfect. It's not supposed to be. You're 16. And getting that positive influence in my life really changed the game for me. I had a new boyfriend at this time, and the funny part is, you know, I grew up going to church, and he didn't. And I'll never
forget. That's another.
Right, that's a different story for another day.
That's another TV program.
But the awesome part was, like, I remember him telling me, like, look, this is not looking well. And he's like, don't you know people that can pray for you? And that could, I don't know, get you out of this? I don't know what's going on.
Zap you up, you know, some secret formula.
Some secret sauce.
Thank you.
And he was right. I did. I had people in my corner that I could go to, and I just didn't at the time. And I did. And, you know, I got prayed for, and I gave God 90 days.
Wow.
My dad always says, give God 90 days, and if he doesn't work, he'll refund your misery and then some.
The devil will, yep.
Yeah, and you know what's funny is, you know, you hear that over and over, and until you're in a situation where you actually need those words and put it into practice. Yes. So I did. I gave God 90 days, and I was depressed, and I would put scriptures on my window, on my mirror in my room. You know, you were created for such a time as this. I knew you in your mother's womb. You are called to be prosperous and successful.
Yes.
And every day I read those words, whether I wanted to hear them or I didn't.
Or whether you believed them or not.
Right. I want to throw up half the time.
Thank you. So you were started creating the environment by the words that she was speaking. Did you hear what she said? She said, I began to write them and stick them in places where they could be found so that she could remind herself not who she thought she was, but who she really was. Yeah. Who she really was. So you see, that's what we have to begin to do. If you don't have, as I say, you know, I don't have nobody in my corner. I don't have nobody to lift me up. I don't have nobody to encourage you. Yeah, you do. You have yourself. You have yourself. You can put stickies here and there that tells you who you are. And those words will come back into you, and you'll begin to live them. Angel, I know you are going to school now, you're married, you have children. How are you? Now, if you want to commit suicide, I can understand. Okay?
Right.
Now you have responsibilities, okay? So how is that all working for you?
Right. Well, those were new seeds planted in me. I had to begin to believe those words, not just at 16, but at 17, 18, 19, 20, and now here we are 10 years later.
Thank you.
I went to this amazing school. It's called Sequel. And what I learned at the School of Equipping Apostolic Prophetic Lion and Lioness is, who are you, Angel? Who are you created to be?
That's right.
Not just for today, but to impact the world.
Yes, I love world leaders.
Yeah. And it's so hard at the beginning to say, oh yeah, I'm going to impact the world. But when you love yourself, when you love your life, and you love what you're doing, it always goes beyond you.
That's right. That's right.
You begin to impact everyone around you.
Yes.
One person at a time. And so I went to Sequel back in 2006, and I graduated 4 years later with my bachelor's in Christian leadership.
Okay.
And what I learned through those 4 years is, again, not just about my character and about maturity and growing up, but I am created on this earth for a purpose.
Come on.
I'm not just here for myself, for my husband, and for my kids, as much as I love them.
Yes, of course.
But I'm here to grow world leaders and empower.
Make a difference.
Make a difference.
You hear that? She had to discover for herself who she was. You know, so many people tell us who we are.
Right.
And they usually tell us, whether they're mad, oh, you always do that. How about that one? You always act like that. You're always, you know, mean. They always, you know, you can be doing 1,000 nice things, and you do one, you know, mean thing, and you're always mean. Right. Isn't that crazy? You know, but see, she began to know who she was, not who people wanted her labeled to be. And that's what we do. See, somebody tells us something, and now we're labeled by what they say. And we allow that label to stick on us. Right. And when you're labeled something, you begin to act like the label. Right. Come on. If there's a label that says, oh, here's a label, make it happen. then that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
But if there's another label that says, you're never good, you're not good enough, then that's how I'm going to live. Because most things live what they're labeled.
Right.
And so you had to change the label.
Had to change the label. I had to write my own labels.
There you go.
And I feel like that's what the sticky notes were doing.
Thank you.
Right? I'm rebranding Angel Garza.
Come on.
I'm
there
saying
you go.
who I know I was
Yes,
created
I love
to
that.
be.
Rebranding Angel Garza.
Right.
Awesome.
And I took people's sticky notes off of me and began to put my own sticky
Come
notes
on.
on myself.
Come
I'm
on.
awesome. I'm amazing.
Yes.
I am
Yes.
created for such a time as this. So in Seapool, that's one of the amazing things you learn. Who are you?
Yes.
What were you created to do? And I learned in Seapool, other than challenging myself and, you know, maturing and growing, that I love people.
Wow.
People are my passion.
Oh, that's awesome.
I know. They drive me crazy, but they're still my passion because I know behind every rock is a gem.
Come on.
And so it took me those 4 years to realize, okay, Angel, you're awesome, you're amazing, you love people, now what are you going to do?
Amen.
And it's education that gets you to the next state in
That's
life.
right. That's right.
Because you learn and you grow
That's
and you
right.
begin to unlayer layers of your life.
That's right.
And so I started beginning to go to William Jessup University.
Wow, awesome.
And I love it. My job really pushed me to go to school, and I said, look, I tried for accounting, not me. I tried for business, and it's awesome, again, not me. But I love people, and if you will invest in me, I will invest in school, and I will make our company grow.
Wow.
And so I began going to school. I got my certification in drug and alcohol counseling.
Okay, wow, that's really going to help people.
Right. And the awesome thing about my school for work is that it also helps in my personal ministry.
Yeah. Mhm.
Right? I had a father-in-law, he was an addict and alcoholic for over 25 years. And before going to school, I would just tell my husband, why doesn't he just quit? I don't understand. Put the bottle down.
That's right. You know what? When you're not addicted to something and that's not your problem,
Right.
then you think, well, I don't drink. You know, it's easy for me not to drink, so what's their problem?
Right.
But how many know we all have issues, and somebody's issue may not be your issue, and so it may seem like it's easy to just stop it,
Right.
but it's not your issue. It's not your problem. It's not what your hang-up is.
Right.
So to go, tell somebody that's really struggling in that area is, why don't you just quit? Come on. It's like, telling a non-astronaut, why don't you just get on a spaceship and go to the moon,
Right. They don't understand it. It's like night and day.
How are they going to go get on a spaceship and go to the moon?
Right. And so what I learned through this program is not sympathy, but empathy.
Oh, there you go.
And I learned that we, again, like you said, we all have our own struggles. And my struggle may be depression. It was depression. And yours is addiction. But guess what? The grace of God got me through that place. And now I'm here to walk with you one by one and not just say, I'm sorry that you're going through that.
Right.
But let's look at the bigger picture. Let's begin to grow. Let's
That's
begin
right.
to change.
And you begin to put his addiction in what you struggled with.
Right.
So now that alcoholism became depression.
Right.
And so you use that depression to help him get out of alcoholism, because it might have been a different problem, but it was the same addiction.
Right.
It was the same hurt. It was the same brokenness. That is so amazing. You see that? You may be going through something right now, or you may love someone that is going through something, and you don't know how to help them. You're thinking, what? I've tried everything. I want to help them, but I just seem to can't help them because I've never lived that life. I've never been an alcoholic. I've never been a drug addict. I've never been depressed. I've never been suicidal. And they're coming to me for help. How can I help them? Angel, how did you help your father-in-law?
Grace.
Grace.
And love.
And love. Wow.
Yeah. And so actually this March he has celebrated 3 years of sobriety.
Wow.
So it's really awesome to be on the other side
Yes.
of what once I felt that was never possible.
Right.
And just speaking life and speaking
love.
love.
The words that we speak. And I'm sure for a long time you said, oh, man, he's an alcoholic, he's a drunk, I don't want him around. Every time he comes around, he causes havoc, and my kids are watching this, and get him out. And really what you were speaking death on the poor guy. The poor guy who said, I don't want to drink, I don't want alcohol. And you're like, you're an alcoholic. You just kept speaking that death. But when you decided to do the opposite, to speak life, you are not an alcoholic. You were created in the image of God. God loves you. God has a call. God has a purpose. You begin to see light, and he began to see light.
Yes.
And not in light, but life.
Right. He's an awesome grandpa. Like you said, 3 years ago prior, we were done. No more Christmas, no more Thanksgiving. We are done with your family here because my kids are consoling their little cousins, and this isn't what life should be. And when we begin to get rid of the judgment and understand, hey, you're hurting.
Right.
How do we help you heal the
Yes,
hurt?
yes.
And get you into the right programs and the right
Yes.
places with the right people that will edify you, encourage you,
That's right.
and uplift you. And going to school helped me see that it's a grace thing.
Wow, wow. God's grace is sufficient. God's grace covers all our mess.
Right.
You know, we all have different situations. We all have different problems, right? We all have different hang-ups. But there's only one God who loves us.
Yeah.
And that same God who can take someone off addiction, that same God who can take someone out of depression, that same God that can save a life from suicide is the same God that can help you. Oh my God, I just love this. Because so many people think, I really don't mean what they say, what I say. Oh, I know they drive me crazy. I know, that, I yell at them and I put them down, but I really don't mean it. See, you may not really mean it. But what about the person you're speaking it to?
Right.
Are they saying you really don't mean it? Or are they being affected by what you're saying, even though you thinking that you really don't mean it?
Right.
You see, it's not the words that are released that hurts that person. It's the words that are received from what you released.
Right.
And that's why I was saying, they'll either make you or they'll break you. They'll either get you to higher ground or they'll get you under the ground. Words
Right.
are powerful. Words are powerful. The Bible says this little tongue right here, this little tongue will get us in most trouble.
Right. Little tiny, it's
Thank
the little
you.
things, right?
Thank
That's
you.
the little things that add up.
Thank you. Yes.
And so the awesome part is now 3 years sober. My father-in-law lives in a sober living environment home.
Wow, that's amazing.
And he went from being the client to being now a supervisor at the sober living home. And now he found his purpose.
Wow.
And he found his passion. And he's amazing. And he's around our kids all the time. Actually, my nieces and nephews who aren't his grandchildren call him grandpa. And so
He's everybody's grandpa.
He's everyone's grandpa. And he has so much joy and love and laughter. And it was because not only did we extend grace and love, but he began to see his value, his purpose, because he was beginning to change, all because of the grace of God and empathy.
That's right. And speaking life.
And speaking life.
And speaking life into a dead situation. Right. It's like a dead plant. You know, how many of you have ever seen, man, I'm going to throw that thing away. It's dead. But you know what, before I throw it away, I'm going to put water to it.
Right.
And you begin to put water. And as you put the water, it begins to show life. You know, that's how words are. Words are just like that.
Yeah.
Someone might be on the edge, and want to give up. But you come and you begin to speak life into that person. And oh my God, what a life-changing experience.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Wow.
So that experience just kept me more motivated. I was excited, look, I'm feeling great about
I raised
myself.
Grandpa from the dead.
Woo! I love Grandpa. And now what? Right? You can stop at one person or you can keep going.
That's right.
And his life motivated me to keep going.
Awesome.
So on top of my drug and alcohol certification, talking to my husband and strategizing a game plan, I'm back in school. I'm getting my psychology bachelor's in psychology. I'll be done by next year.
Wow.
And I want to get my master's now.
Oh wow.
I want to keep going.
Awesome. And every time you move forward, you're going to help someone else move forward. See, your life. Listen, I want to talk about this. Because some people say, oh, it's my life. I'll do whatever I want. I'll act however I want. It's my life. Really? If you're a mother or a father or a grandfather or aunt, your life is your own. What about the people you're influencing?
Right.
What about the people that you're impacting? It's not your life.
Mm-hmm.
It is the life that God has given you to be a difference and make a difference in other people's lives.
Yeah.
And that's what you're doing.
Yeah, and it all started with a seed.
Wow.
Right. Now I have 2 daughters, an amazing husband who supports me. Our whole life has changed and we're on the same team. Like, hey, I'll be at school, you cook dinner, you do your guy thing, I'll be home with the girls, we cook dinner, the girls play sports. And so it really came down to not just Angel going to school,
wow,
but the Garzas being a family and supporting each other and making arrangements and making it possible, because life is not about perfection.
right,
Life is about making it happen.
yep.
You do what you got to do to make it happen.
That's right. And now, Angel, now that you're going to school, your kids are seeing you're going to school, and now what is she doing? She's opening the door for her children to get a bachelor's, to get a master's, even if they get, they get married before they complete school. How many people think they're too old to go to school? Or, I'm already married, I already have my children, I can't go back to school. Oh, yes, you can. Look she has 2 daughters. She has a husband, right? She has a full-time job, and she's going to school. Why? Because she found her passion, she found her purpose, and she found out her passion and her purpose wasn't just for her. Her passion and her purpose was to make other people great. Your passion and your purpose, no matter what you do. Let me tell you, I love Steve Jobs. I call my Apple and iPad my loved ones. Oh my God, what if he would have not created the Apple phone? Because I'm not going to any other phone, I'm an Apple lover. Everybody else has bananas, I have Apple.
Right.
Okay? I know he didn't create that Apple for him, that Apple cell phone for him. I know, he created it for me and all the other millions of people that have Apple phones. Your passion isn't for you.
Right.
God put that passion in you so that you can bring success to others.
Right.
That passion, all this, look at how many hours do you go to school? How many hours of homework you must have?
Oh my God, 12, 15 hours a week of homework.
Come on.
At least.
Just for you?
No.
You're going to go change someone's lives. You're invested in yourself so that you can invest in other people's lives. Wow. Isn't that powerful?
And it is a sacrifice, but you
It
can
is.
do it. My daughters write Post-its in my books. I love you, Mommy, keep going. And it's very encouraging. Now I travel for business now. This getting my certification and continuing my education has moved me up at work.
Wow.
And so now I get to travel for work. And it's awesome because not only do I get to travel for work and do presentations and interact in projects, but every destination I go, I bring back a college t-shirt for my daughters.
Wow.
To give them more vision.
Wow.
You are not stuck in San Jose.
Yeah.
California is not going to be your only home. You can go anywhere around the world and be amazing and make an impact.
Yeah. And you're giving her options.
Right.
What university do you want to go to? I was just in Dallas. You want to go to ATM? What university do you want to go? The sky's the limit.
Yeah.
And what does she do? She's bringing them back shirts with words on it, right?
Right.
That say, look at, this university is an option for you.
Yeah.
This university is an option for your success.
Right.
Wow. Words. We're talking about words today. We're talking about the power and the impact of words. Words, our tongue, speaking life, speaking death, helping Grandpa, putting Grandpa down. What are we going to do? Because we have a choice.
Right.
What choices are you making with your tongue to bring life not only to you, but to those that you can inspire?
Right. And you're not always going to say the right words.
Right.
I have a 9-year-old daughter, and I remember one morning she lost the house key. She forgot her homework. The dog runs out the door, and I'm like, ah! And I'm yelling and I'm screaming, and I get home and I get to work and I feel horrible. I feel so bad because I sent her off to school that way. And I heard a message, and it was, if your boss spoke to you like you spoke to your children, would you show up to work every day? And that simple word changed my perspective of how I speak to my children. I got home straight from work and I said, Prosperity, Mommy was upset. And Mommy apologizes because I should have never spoken to you in that manner.
Right.
And she gave me a big old hug and said, thank you, Mommy. How often are parents apologizing to the children? We're not perfect.
Wow. I wanted to say something else about, you just said your daughter, Prosperity. Well, she happens to go to our church, Prosperity. And in every service, we take time to prophesy over, whoever's next to us. And Prosperity was next to me today. And I just began to speak prosperous words over Prosperity. And I get to tell her that she was going to prosper in every single area of her life, simply because every time somebody called her name, Prosperity, They were speaking that prosperous life into her. Look at one word, prosperity. Can you imagine being called prosperity? Every day someone, even when they're mad, prosperity, oh, they're blessing me. Right? Good or bad, simply because that's her name and that's the word that has to be spoken. Prosperity, oh, I'm being blessed right now. I'm going to be prosperous because they're speaking life of prosperity into my life.
Right.
So even names have value. Even words of names have value. Wow, that is so amazing.
Right, and it's one day at a time.
Yeah.
One sentence at a time. If you struggle with kind words, because that was a struggle for me, I was young. I was a mom at 21.
Come on.
You know, write them down.
Yeah.
Post-its are my best
Rehearse
friend.
them.
Rehearse them. Right? I'm going to say this to my husband today and every day this week. I'm going to say this to my boss. I'm going to say this for my child, because it may seem like a simple sentence or a simple phrase, but you are pouring seeds into their lives.
The seed will grow, good or bad. If it is in the ground and you continuously water it,
right,
it's going to grow. Yeah. I used to tell my girls, you better watch what you're saying because you're growing that tree.
Yeah.
If you continuously tell your husband that, guess what? It's going to be full blown. So whatever you're speaking over him, that he's nothing, he's lazy, he's never going to do that, I can't believe it, oh my God, I can't stand him, and all of a sudden, he can't stand you, guess what you just grew. Alive.
And it's mothers reaching out to their daughters.
Yes.
It's sisters reaching out to their friends.
Yes.
You know, the spoken word, it means so much in so many different areas. And Speak Life, since that lesson learned, again, I got married at 20. We celebrated 10 years of marriage, which didn't come easy, but we just continued to fight for each other and trust in God. And I'm like, you're an awesome husband. You're a great cook. You're an amazing dad.
And guess what you have now? An awesome husband, a great cook, and an awesome dad.
Yes.
Come on. What if she said, oh, you're a rotten cook, you never cook. You're a rotten dad, wouldn't help with the kids. Think of what we're saying.
Right.
Think of what we're saying. And then we get what we say and we're like, well, how did that grow? How did I get that? That's not what I wanted. I didn't want it. I wanted a loving husband, a cooking husband, a good daddy. But you spoke the opposite. Right. You reap what you sow. You reap what you sow what you reap. Come on, that's a principle. What did you sow? What do you sow strawberries and expect bananas?
Not gonna happen.
Not gonna happen. Right. Listen, very powerful show today on words. On the words that are spoken will either bring you life or death. And you have the choice. You have the choice to speak. I didn't mean to say that. I was mad. No, you have the choice. Because even in our anger, we have the choice to choose our words correctly. One last word, one last thought, Angel.
You're amazing, and you're created to thrive.
Yes.
Regardless of what it looks like, regardless of what people are saying, regardless of what the situation is saying, you were created for such a time as this. Do not sell yourself short.
Come on. Do not sell yourself short simply because of the words that you're speaking. This is Global Innovators, Kingdom Global Innovators. You are called to innovate. Innovate. What do you have that you can bring to this world simply by speaking it into existence? Thank you for tuning in. Love you. God bless you. See you next week.